Today on the Pinpoint Asia podcast, we have a bit of a celebrity. We've got Dr. Toa Charm. Dr. Toa Charm is very well connected. I've watched a few YouTube videos, and he's got a long list of accomplishments. I don't know where to start. Yeah. So in the corporate sector, he's worked for IBM, HSBC, Jardine Matheson's in the beginning, so a lot of experience there.
Yeah.
And then he was the Chief Public Commissioner for Cyberport, trying to increase the level of entrepreneurship in Hong Kong. And now he's the founder of DaLa, Data Literacy of Association of Hong Kong. And he also teaches. So you wear many hats.
Yes.
It's
exciting.
So today what we want to do is we want to talk about DaLa. But before that, I want to get a bit of your story.
Sure.
So let's start back in the beginning. Right? So what made you get into computer science, and give us a history.
Wow, a long time ago, if I can remember, right? We just talked about it, right? The first time I took an airplane outside of Hong Kong, that was probably 30 years ago, when I got to United States to get my first degree in computer science. That was I think probably the first generation of computer science major graduates, right? And then naturally after I graduate, I want to pursue further. And then I got a master too in the United States. And then I worked in Silicon Valley. So all my life is related to data. My first job in Silicon Valley is working for a database company, which is a lot of data. Right? Technology is not as mature as today, but definitely it's supporting all different type of applications. You need to have a database to store all the data. So that's where I started in my career. So today, I have so many things working on, all related to data, including AI. Gen AI is all, you cannot do AI without data, right? So all my life in the 32 years, I would say, in my career life, is all related to data. So in between, I work for a large company like HSBC, IBM, as you said. It's all related to data. I manage the centralized team in Asia Pacific for HSBC, particularly on data, how we can make use of data. We can help different regions, different departments to really get value out from our data. And also, collaborate different departments, break the data silos and all that. So HSBC from IBM, I'm on the other side. I'm helping companies, including HSBC as well. So, from the vendor perspective, from the user perspective, I have been working on data for a long time. But I think for the recent 10 years, we have a lot of young people. They want to start their own startup. So I've had a very good chance to work for Cyberport, which is one of the largest incubators in Hong Kong. So my responsibility is really cultivate startups. When we started, it's only a small number of people or small number of companies in Cyberport. Now we have over 2,000 startups in Cyberport. So I'm probably part of it, a contributor to that journey. So in a nutshell, that's me. But now, as you said, I founded DaLa, Data Literacy Association, which is hopefully from a organization, non-profit organization perspective, how we can help enterprises, large or small, to make use of data, to make use of AI much better. So it will be good for them and also good for Hong Kong, because you cannot compete without all this AI and data these days. You're competing with different types of company, different countries. So what I would like to do, or DaLa would like to do, is to gather all the people together, a community, so we can exchange knowledges, exchange experience, how we make use of data in different, for example, function units, different company, different industry, and more importantly, cross-company, cross-functional, and cross-even countries, how we can make use of data, how we can monetize data better. Right? So I always say that data is the most important asset in the digital economy. So, but unfortunately, not too many people or not too many companies, they know how to monetize data. So I think the organization, DaLa, Data Literacy Association, is really want to leverage on our experience to help those laggers, people who are a little bit behind in this game. So how we can help them to get ahead of the game and monetize data better, serve their customer better, manage the operation better by making use of data and AI. So don't get us wrong, our association is not a technical or IT-oriented organization. We really much want to help users, non-IT users, how they can make use of data daily, effectively. That's why we call it data literacy, not data analytics. Literacy is just a language. I'm talking to you in English, so we can understand each other. Sometimes we can argue with each other, making use of our language, English. So in the digital economy, we believe that data is a language. So you use it for communication every day. You use it to convince the other side every day. You want to read and understand the other side, analyze what the other people are saying to you. Again, when they present the data, how good you are in terms of understand or even criticize whatever they present to you. So that's why I think we are trying to help users to have this kind of capability, future skills, if you will, rather than just helping IT people. They are good in data science, they are good in machine learning. Definitely it's important, but it's only 2%, 1% of the whole company. We would like to democratize data literacy to 98, 99% of all these employees in the company.
Good. I'm going to ask you more questions about
Sure.
that. But before that, right, just to back up a little bit, right?
Sure.
30 years back, what made you want to go to America? Is it just a job or?
I think, well, that time I was very young. I don't know even what is computer, right? So, but I think that will be, we know that all these advanced technologies were coming from America, right? So I went there and tried to explore further. And then I decided what kind of major I want to put time on. So when we started, as you know, this general education in the United States. So you don't have to decide which kind of discipline or major you want to get into. So when I started there, I was, wow, this is pretty good, right? So it's interesting. This one thing. And also, it's new thing and it's a high demand in the future. So if I go for that, I think it's a guarantee in terms of my career. So that's why in terms of the market demand, in terms of my interest, that's why I went to United States and picked the best. You know, when I was there, even computer science was very new to many universities in the United States. So sometimes they don't even have a faculty or department called computer science yet, or they do have a major in computer science yet. So that's why I'm saying that it's the first generation of computer science education when I was there. So I would say that I capture probably the time, the good time of computer science. I picked up the right skill, got a degree in computer science, and then I got another degree, master MBA in United States. And then at that time, they have a high demand of that kind of jobs. That's why I got a good job in Silicon Valley and pick up even more experience. So I was lucky. I picked the right choice, and also timing is very important. The demand is so high, so that's why it's much easier for a Chinese, particularly. You want to get a job in the United States, you has to have something good, right? So I think the demand is higher than what they can supply at that time. So I was lucky to get a very good job in Silicon Valley. And then again, another one is, again, is timing. Asia Pacific started to grow at that time. So even my company in the United States, they would like to expand to Asia Pacific. So I'm again, very lucky. The boss of Asia Pacific went to the headquarters in Silicon Valley. He's looking for help, right? Can you send somebody to Asia Pacific to help us to start? So they met up me, and after he found out I came from Hong Kong, wow, that's a good fit. Do you want to come back? Right? So that's another good chance for me to leverage what I learned from the United States, and then I can went back to Hong Kong, and then start the Asia Pacific office for that company. Yeah. So.
The interest in data, did it come because of your original job, or what drew you towards data?
Well, I didn't know the power of data when I worked for the first job. It's just like a supporting role. So database, it seems that it's only a storage, supporting all these applications, CRM, ERP, call center, all that, right? So to me, it's like a supporting technology, right? Back in that time. But now it's different. Now it's become the most important asset that you can leverage on. It's just like how many machines you have, how many factories you have, how many buildings do you have. That is the traditional heavy asset, right? And people leverage on this asset to make more money. You have factory, you can manufacture goods, you can sell, you can have a margin, you can have a mass production, you can reach. You have a commercial building, you can rent it out, you can sell, right? So you can make money. So traditionally, in the old economy, people are making use of this asset to make more money. But today, I'm so lucky in this industry. So we see data as an asset. So you can monetize it, right? For example, look at Facebook, look at Tencent. The biggest revenue is not something like services or selling hardware and all that. All they do is monetizing data. So people are giving their money to do advertising, data-driven advertising, right? Data-driven marketing. So those are the companies really know how to leverage and monetize data and make a whole lot of money. They're one of the top 10s, right? Facebook, also Tencent, in the whole world. So that's why my career and also now DaLa as a non-profit organization is really helping companies in Asia. I would say that it's still a little bit behind in terms of this game, right? Even Hong Kong and Singapore, we are still a little bit behind. Maybe you say, oh, I'm a data-driven organization. Maybe what they mean is I have some Excel report, I have some dashboard looking at KPIs, then they call themselves a data-driven organization. So I'm based on the data to drive us what to do and how we make decisions. That's good, but I see that is only the first stage of data monetization. Seeing all these KPIs, looking at all this Excel, playing around the BI tools like Tableau or Power BI. This is the first stage of data monetization. When we talk about Tencent and Facebook, they're making use of data to do advertising. This is the real money and a whole lot of money. And also, it's light, meaning that the profit margin is so high. Rather than you're selling a hardware like this, you have costs. And then on the top, you have a margin. For data, the cost is very minimum. And you can reuse them again. So the profit margin is so high. And you heard about this SaaS model, right? Software as a service. Now we call it data as a service, right? You can subscribe, and they pay you money, and they will have access to data, to access to your analysis. So every month, your client is paying you money, and you sit there and sleep, and you still making money. I always tell my startups, right? The best business model that you should have is when you're sleeping, you're still making money, right? And data, if you know how to monetize data, that's the way to go. Because, every month, every day you're sleeping, people are subscribing your services, you're subscribing your data or data analytics, you're making money, right? So you're seeing that from startup and also from very large company, they know how to play the game, they monetize data so well. But for the traditional economy, so many companies do not know even what is data asset and don't need to say how to monetize the data. So I think that will be not a single company can do it because they have their certain hidden agenda. So by setting up DaLa, Data Literacy Association, as a non-profit organization, we can have no commercial agenda, but we can help companies to understand and then leverage and then monetize data. So it will be good for everyone in Hong Kong and also in Asia as well.
Okay, you spoke about this before, right? So there is data analytics,
Yes.
and there is data literacy.
Yes.
Data analytics would be the guy using some Python script and whatever and coming up with some IT guy, right? Data literacy is the language of data, right? Could you give us an example, right,
Sure.
of what data literacy is and how it's used in the company?
Right. So as I said before, data literacy is just like a language, right? Sometimes we call it second business language. Besides your mother tongue, like English, for example, then you use data as your second business language. So that's why everybody should pick it up, because you cannot do business without English, right? Now you cannot do business without data, right? One of the examples, when we talk about data literacy, is read and write and also argue. Read, that means every meeting, people are talking to you, right? Maybe they do not have any data and you can challenge them. Okay, why should I believe you? Show me the data, right? That's read, right? And for write, that means you are on the other side, you need to present something. Rather than just using English and some fancy PowerPoint, do you have valid data that you can convince the other side? Do you know how to tell a data story? That means besides data, you also know how to present it in a more compelling way. So that's what we call write. That means read and write, right? And then how about you don't agree with something, right? It always happens. Whether you are facing a client, partners, investors, your bosses, your subordinate. When you are arguing something, who is going to win? Data will win. So that's why you need to have good data literacy. So in everyday communication, for your work and also for your daily lives. So tons of examples just like this, right? That's one thing. The other thing example would be cross-team, right? How about we work together to do something, right? So for example, we are talking about marketing, operation, finance, HR. They used to have their own data. They work on that, create their own report, create their own KPI to drive daily what they do and what they should not do and what action do they take. So that's a good start for a data-driven company. But in order to differentiate yourself better, make your company even better, you need to do, for your own department, you need to use data as a language, as I said before. Across department, if everybody talk in the same way. So for example, you have 5 departments are so good. One is speaking Russian, one is speaking Indian, one is only speak English. They cannot communicate, right? Even though every individual department may be good, but they cannot communicate. So how about this problem of customer? Customer always the first, right? Customer don't need to know what kind of departments do you have. Customer only want you as a company to solve my problem, right? It could be involve many, many departments. So if we can get all these departments sit down together and speak the same language, data literacy, right? And they can communicate. Okay, what do you see? Okay, according to my data, they are doing this. How about if we cross over the data and we can see the problem even more clearly? And how about we can innovate solutions based on the problem we see, right? At the end of the day, that kind of what we call use case, the value and the impact will be much bigger for individual department. You're coming out with the problem and coming out with the solutions. So that's why we're talking about why data literacy, why data asset, now why data culture. Now data culture, if you do not have data culture, that means the individual department will not be able to talk to each other and then will not be able to solve the problem for their customers, for operation, for their suppliers, for their stakeholders. So by making everybody in the company talking in the same language, they can sit down together to identify the problems, to innovate new solutions to solve that problem, so that the return and the impact is much bigger. So that's why we need to, from data literacy to monetizing data asset, and then eventually, gradually, you will build the data culture across different departments and different people and personnel in your company. So they talk the same language and they will be much better off.
I see. So if I have to summarize, right? So it would be like different departments in the company using data and then presenting their story based on the data, right? So the company essentially speaks the same language of data instead of just coming up with some sort of a statement that is not substantiated by data.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. One more thing is mindset. right? If, for example, you want the company to grow, you want to equip everyone have the growth mindset. Otherwise, they will be so stable, they don't want to make changes, right? And every new stuff you introduce to the company is going to be fair. So that's why growth mindset is so important. Customer mindset, customer-centric mindset is very important. Now we talk about data mindset is also important. When the people are, every day they're working, right? They see a problem, they may use their intuition and experience to solve the problem. What's the data mindset? Data mindset is you will look at the problem by making data, using data to understand the problem. You want to innovate a solution to solve that problem, you also look at data. When you want to communicate with other people or convince the other side, you will start to using data, right? So that's what we call data mindset. So growth mindset, everybody understands is important. Customer-centric mindset is so important. Now the data mindset is also important. So in a nutshell, as you said, data analytics is so limited. Data science is so limited. Usually it's a centralized department. They're very good expert in that. They build a model to calculate the risk, calculate fraud, or they have a recommendation engine to recommend product to other people. Still very useful. But today, I think the leading company are not settled with only have a centralized data team to do that. In order to unleash the power of data, we need to have a data culture. Everybody have the data mindset, talk the same language. They can solve the problem together, making use of data. They can innovate new solution, looking at different data points, and then they can innovate. Also, they can have the same language to communicate with the data team, right? So they can understand, both sides can understand their requirements, and also they know how to criticize what is missing when the data team is presenting to them. The data team can get more input from the user team, what they need. So the same language. Just like the analogy we talk about, right? If every department is talking in different languages, there's no way they can work together. Russia, India, and only speak Russian, only speak Indian, and only speak English. How do they communicate? Right? It's very difficult.
Yeah. One of the questions I have is this, right? So data, depending on one's tilt on the data, right, they can come up with a story. So, so for example, say the stock or the past prices or whatever, right? The data gives you a certain data point, right? So you look at, say, the stock went up or down or whatever. But the future, you can present a story. So my question is, if an organization has a data mindset, right, and they can look at data kind of objectively, right, is it still possible for people to present the same data under a different light? So it looks like they can promote their own agenda.
You're exactly right. It's highly likely. So that's why another very strong reason why you need to enhance your data literacy. So remember we talk about try to define data literacy, read and write and argue with data. Read is the one to answer you. So when somebody presents something to you using data, they can manipulate the data. They can manipulate the visualization of data. So make you believe him or her, right? Maybe it's an investment, maybe selling products, maybe just asking for a proposal, asking for a budget, asking for fund. So the other side will be very skillful using data and visualization, maybe a very compelling storytelling, right? They have a very good literacy, but they manipulate it. So the other side has to have same sort of capability to read. So it can criticize, okay, it seems that the increments should not be in the scale of 10. It should be in the scale of 100. And then it will distort the visualization, for example, right? So you will be able to ask, you will be able to critically thinking about what they present with the data. So you will be much better off, right? Think about if it's not equal. The other side is so good in terms of data literacy, but they manipulate the data. And the other side has no clue. Then the chances are, you believe in them, right? Because they're using data, right? And then actually they are cheating you. So that's why it's very important.
It reminds me of that book. I think it's How to Lie Using Statistics.
Exactly, that's the book. Yeah.
So they make the graph look like that at the end because it's the X scale is compressed or something.
Exactly. So you want to equip today, particularly even in the Gen AI era today, you're using ChatGPT or alike, right? So whatever the LLM present to you, it might not be right, right? So as a user, how can you verify it, right? How you can look at all these reply and also data analytics. Actually, LLM can actually present different type of analytics to you now, right? So it seems that, okay, I don't need to learn this kind of thing. LLM can do it all. Same thing, if you have a highly scalable data analytics people in front of you, they can cheat you just like the LLM, right? So the same thing, as a user, you will be able to look at the ChatGPT, whatever output you got, or the other people are presenting the visualization to you. Are you be able to critically think about this? Do you know how to ask questions, right? So when you are on the other side, how you can make your presentation, make your all this pitching with all these supporting data, visualization, and then when you people ask you question, criticize you, do you know how to argue with them to use your data, right? So that sort of thing is, even the IT people and data people, most of them do not know and do not good at that. So we are trying to use the term democratize, just like financial inclusion or education inclusion, right? So you cannot just have those rich people to invest. You need to democratize it. Everyone, even though they are not rich, you have the right to invest. Education, right? Education inclusion. You cannot just let the rich people to have university education. You want to make it, generalize it, and democratize it to everyone. They are underprivileged. So they will be able to learn rather than teach them, rather than give them food or fish, you teach them how to fish it, right? So it's very important strategy. So we can democratize the data literacy to 98, 99% of the organization, which is non-IT. Then the compound effect is very important. Everybody, every day, every job, they have the data mindset, right? You think about the values that you can get. The way they monetize data is not only by the centralized team, but everyone, every day, they're working on their daily jobs, they are monetizing data.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So democratization of data essentially means to promote data literacy across the company. So everybody understands, speaks the language of data. That's what it means, yeah? Democratization.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. Just like when you are going to a country, they do not know English, right? You will not set up an English specialized team, only have 10% of the people or 5% of the people. You want to educate everyone. They can speak English, right? Data is the same thing, right? Because it's the most important second business language today, right? All right. So you have to empower them. You have to democratize this capability. Capability is not a very good word. It should be start from mindset, right? You empower them with the data mindset. So look at different issues, problem with the data mindset first, and then you teach them how to analyze it and how to prepare your own version, and also how you present it. So that's why part of the data literacy is data storytelling, right? So data storytelling meaning that you have the data, you have the visualization, and you have the narrative, right? You only have data is too boring. Nobody will understand what you talk about. So you need to make it like a fancy visualization. But fancy visualization is good, but if you do not have a narrative, that means you have to have a story. It's not compelling. So when we talk about data storytelling, you need to have the adequate data. You need to present it using visualization. And also you have to prepare a story to tell the other side. So that's why data literacy is part of it. Think about if a company, it become a DNA, you tackle problem, opportunities using your data mindset, you innovate with your data mindset, you present with data, and you argue with data. So those are the things we are looking for. It's become you when you listen more and more about what I'm talking about, data literacy, you know that it's a culture. It's not a technology. It's not even a skill. It's a culture. So you need to make sure that everyone in the company, whenever you're taking there's 5 people, another 5 people, different departments, different time, you are seeing that you making use of data, right? Just like DNA. Whatever you cut it out from my body, it's the same. When you get anyone, randomly from the company, when you ask them a problem, they will present a data story to you. That is the DNA, and DNA is the culture, right? So that's what we're looking at.
I see.
Yeah.
I want to touch more upon what you said before about the first stage. Say us, a recruitment firm, right?
Yeah.
So, like any other recruitment firm, we look at KPIs, etc., etc. That's only the first stage, right, of data literacy.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example? Second, third stage, what would that look like?
Okay, so again, the KPI is good, right? So there's something that is data driven. So you go based on them to make some decision, do something or not do something, and do more, do less, and all that. It's good, perfect. So this is the first stage. But based on that, you do not, every day, you look at different problems. You cannot just rely on the dashboard or the KPI to look at, right? So you see a long queue, okay, in a branch of a bank, or maybe you're seeing that, okay, the people are complaining, right? You don't see the KPI. What kind of thing you can get help from the KPIs or the dashboard? So you need to look at the data, right? I have the data in the database or data lake. I can pull in the data and look at for certain period of time for the same day, what is the pattern, okay? And what is the possible complaint looking at the data from your call center. So that is why we're saying that when you have the dashboard, they are based on the most important popular KPI that you use. But they do not or will not be able to help you for the daily jobs every employee they're facing every day. So the next stage is really empower, like we said before, everyone to have the data mindset and some data analytics skills. So they'll be able to, don't need to go back to the IT people or data people, and they still look at dashboard, right? But before they go to the room to talk to the manager, that they are looking at the KPI, like margin or customer satisfaction, they can already making use of data to look at the problem, okay? And probably innovate. We should do that. We have option 1, 2, 3 based on this data. We should do that. So by preparing all these things, you cannot get it from the dashboard. Dashboard maybe is a good, common, most important KPIs that you can rely on. You're still evolving, but every day people are facing different problems. So they need to solve that problem using all these data literacy skills. And even go back to the dashboard, right? So I was, in my previous job in HSBC, right? The people are making use of dashboard. You look at more mature, successful company, they have a good dashboards. So all these senior managers, they are making use of the dashboard to drive what they want to do. But again, when you are 1 level down, 2 level down, you look at these dashboards, you want to really look good in front of your boss, right? So when you go into present, why is a red color, why is not a green color, right? So you already do your own job, right? And previously, the people just trying to convince their boss they're doing a good job, trying to explain something why is not a red color, not a green color, is a red color. That means it's not up to the par. So you do your own job, and also you do data storytelling. You know what, boss? This KPI showing is a red color, but you break it down, is where we are, what is happening, and also we look at different social media things. That's why we should do that, okay? And then the next 3 months we should do that based on this data analytics, right? So you are trying to use data to convince the other side, right? Same thing.
I see.
So if, the dashboard will not help you that, right? So I think that's why I'm saying that dashboard and all these report are only the first stage. because you already have some data-driven decisions that you need to make every day based on this dashboard. But in order to really get the most out from data and monetize data better, that's very important. And then you go to another level, is the data product, right? So we talk about the basic one is the no report at all, and then you have the paper report, PDF, and your Excel, and then you can play around using Power BI and Tableau, and you can have some dashboard for different departments. So the second level. The third level is empower everyone, they have the capability, data mindset, and all that. The fourth stage is going to data products. It means that you can monetize data even better. So you can create product, not a car, not a phone, you create data products. So for example, you can create data product like credit card. They can analyze, what is selling the best in this region, okay, and then they can share this analysis to all different merchants in that region. So they can do a much better merchandising strategy, and they have a limited shop floor. So what sort of goods they should put on display so they can sell the most, right? So on and so forth. So that sort of analytics is very important. So they can make it as a data product. All these single merchants on the street, they can subscribe, right? So this is data product. So you're selling not credit card, not payment, but you're selling data products, right? So that sort of thing. Another example we talk about, like Tencent and Facebook, advertising, right? So another data product. So they analyze the data product, so people can subscribe, right? And they go buy. And so there's another data product. So eventually, if you look at the whole spectrum of data monetization, your company, most of the people has a higher data literacy, you have a better chance to monetize your data more effectively and go to the latest stage. So if your data literacy is only limited to data department, data team, ID team, or your data analytics is only available in the level of dashboard, management dashboard, somehow it's very limited. It's only the second stage that we talk about, right? So you need to do more, and then so you can differentiate. When every bank, every retailer, every logistic company, everybody is running similar dashboard, how you can beat them, how you can stay ahead of the game is go to the third stage and the fourth stage of the monetization, data monetization, right?
Wow, that's excellent. Yeah, now it kind of clicked in my mind.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, have you heard of Zillow, the company in the US, the property?
Yeah.
The same guy started Glassdoor, monetizing data again.
Yes, yes.
His essentially all his companies are data products, you know?
Yeah, data products.
Yeah.
So the sooner you get to that spot, then you can differentiate, and you have a much higher margin. Not only new products, data products, but much higher margin, right? And another stage of data monetization, you can get into different industry and do business there. For example, Shopify, which is a e-shop company. That means if you are SME, you don't want to put your product to sell in Alibaba or Amazon because your bargaining power is so low, and you don't want to give a lot of money to the big platform. So you want to set up your own shops, e-shops. So you will use Shopify, for example, to set up your own e-shop, and you can sell your product in your own e-shop. So it's good. They probably have 9 million to 10 million SME customers today. So they got a lot of data about every SME around the whole world, right? There's inventory, their payment, their merchandising strategies, all that. So they think about, okay, how I can monetize the data better. Besides, I do analysis, right? Besides, I have a dashboard report, knowing that, what sort of thing we can help them. We can do analysis to help different SMEs to do business, empower them to do better business, share the analysis, and also the people can buy analysis through subscription from the Shopify, right? So this is the second, third stage we talk about. So they have their own business, making use of data, empower everybody, have the data literacy, so they can understand the SME better, and then they empower the SMEs to do a better business. Now they are going even further. So because of all this data, and they understand, okay, how about I become a bank, a finance company? I can loan money to them. The data, the way they make use of data, the degree of understanding of all this behavior, all this SME, is much better than banks. Banks don't have that kind of data, right? So they make use of data, they calculate the risk, and they calculate the interest, and all that. So now they can do financing to all these SME. So that's the example from a e-commerce company to become a finance company, right? So you look at the whole spectrum again. The data monetization is very interesting, right? The people are so narrow, think, well, okay, I have Excel, now I'm a big jump. I use dashboard already. Oh, my people are to know how to use Power BI or Tableau, to massage the data. Okay, we are done. We are a data-driven company. No, like far, far away, far away.
Great examples. I remember Netflix also did that, with the streaming,
Yeah. So, but the Netflix or Facebook or Tencent, the people bring about, okay, this is a tech giant, so they should do a better job, right? But what I'm saying that is, all this traditional company, not in the tech sector, they should be able to do it, right? You're a retailer, you are a logistic company, you are a F&B company, okay? There's no rule to say that they cannot monetize data. So the reason why we're setting up DaLa again is we do not need to have the tech giant. They know how to do it. But a lot of companies are not tech giants, right? They are traditional retailer, traditional supply chain, traditional logistic, traditional F&B. So how we can help them, empower them, be able to monetize data better, from democratize the data literacy to everyone in their company, and then help them to transform the whole spectrum of data monetization, right? From reports, Excel, dashboard, to really make use of the data to do monetization like data products. And then eventually they might be able to transform or get into or diversify their business into different industry, just like the Shopify case.
I see.
Right? So it's a long way to go, but a lot of people do not know how to do it.
I see. And the way you help these companies is by running those workshops for them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Companies are in different stages, right? Some are even very primitive. They don't even have dashboard. Right? Some have some dashboard, but it's not useful. They are very proud of their dashboard and helping them to run everyday business and operation. They claim themselves as a data-driven company. They don't know they are only the first stage of the data monetization journey. There's a lot more they can do and in the digital transformation. So that's why we are here. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I've got one more question about this, right? So whatever we spoke about right now is from a corporation standpoint.
Yeah.
Right? What about, say, an individual, a student, an unemployed individual, right, who wants to learn about data literacy? What should they do?
Well, you look at this, right? Individual, they want to find a good job, have a good career. So if the smart enterprise, they are very data literate, whatever I just talked about, they have done it, I'm sure that they are a very successful company, right? So they will look for people, they have a data literate mindset, data mindset. So as a student or as a individuals, you want to get a good job, you need to equip yourself with data literacy. Right? Whether from primary school, secondary school, university, we are doing some in the university and even secondary school, right? So we are making use of some games to really motivate, encourage young people to have a better data mindset. So how about if you want to do a campaign? We need to have a plan, right? You need to convince your teachers and also your classmates, your proposal. So how you can do a data storytelling, right? You can get the data from open data, you can get the data from different source, and then you can present the plan with the compelling story and the visualization from the data, right? So that's why if you used to it, become a habit, and when you go to interview for a job, you do the same, right? You do a very compelling data story. Why me, right? And then you do that. The better chance you got this job. So that's why for individuals, for students, are very critical. Now in the AI era, that is even more important, right? So that sort of mindset, that sort of skill set is very important for all these next generation young people. Yeah.
I see. Fascinating. I learned a lot just through this conversation.
Is that right?
Now, you got to tell me about the Data Literacy Awards. So what
Yes.
are the awards for? When is it? Could you give us
Thank you. Give me a chance to talk about our Data Literacy Award. We believe that this is first of its kind, at least in Hong Kong, I think even in Asia. So the Data Literacy Award 2024, we hope to recognize, like you said, companies and individuals. They have a very good data mindset and culture. They do better job in terms of data monetization, data culture, and that sort of thing. So we have 9 categories for these awards, right? We have individuals, we have company like Data Culture Awards, Data Strategy Awards, Data Monetization Awards. We also have Best Data Startup, so startup young team, they're making use of data. We have Data Literacy Empowerment Award. That means what kind of program you are using to empower and also democratize data literacy to the company, so on and so forth. So we have 9 categories. We encourage companies in Hong Kong to join. On one hand, you want to get recognized. On the other hand, you can share your best practices so other people can learn from. And for them, they can also learn from other applicants what they're doing, and maybe you can improve your own data program as well. So I think it's very useful. So far, we received very, very good applications from very famous company and also from small company and startup and even individuals. So although this is the first year, we are so happy for now. And also we got a lot of support from the industry. And also we have a very good judging panel from all these very experienced experts, academia, and also business people as our judges. So I'm looking forward to our ceremony, which is the presentation ceremony on November 8th. So not only the applicants or the people there, applying for the awards can come. We welcome everyone. If you want to learn more about how the other company making use of data, monetize data, cultivate their data culture, so on and so forth, you're welcome to come. So you can go to our website and all information are there. And we look forward, we're so excited and looking forward for that. Yeah.
A company can apply for these awards by going to your website now.
Yes.
We'll put a link in the show notes. And also, is there a deadline for the application?
Well, the deadline is probably end of this month, September. But if you really, really want to apply, but you still need to prepare some contents, you can send email to us. We can see whether we can give you some approval. So you can submit a few days after the deadline. But definitely we are encouraged. If you have some good, exciting projects on data, definitely you're welcome to apply. Yeah.
It was a fascinating conversation, but before I let you go, Dr. Charm, right? Yeah. There is one other thing about you that's not related to data.
Yeah.
I did not know that you were a good singer. I was doing my...
there you go. Yeah.
That's you. See, I'm like, is this the same Dr. Charm? And it is the same Dr. Charm.
Same.
I got to say, you sing very well.
Thank you.
I love the song. I listened to it 2 times.
2 times. That's good.
Yeah. Tell us about this as well.
It's actually part of the FinTech Week in Hong Kong. Every year we have the FinTech Week. In Singapore, you have the FinTech Festival, similar. So we have 1 week that we can gather all these FinTech experts together. So they can showcase their solutions, and we attract companies and guests all over the world to come, right? So we also have an entertainment park. So different types of entertainment. I'm just, with some friends, and then I used to play guitar when I was young, right?
So this time is very happy. You will gather together. We love that. Hopefully we can do more. Just too busy. Otherwise, probably I will sing every day.
Yeah. On that note, I got to say you're a very good singer, a great guitar player,
Thank you.
and a wealth of information. Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
so
today.
much.
It was a fascinating conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.